here we are, and welcome to a wax on, wax off edition of the Friday Night Movie Podcast. To be clear, we were the first ones on the Cobra Kai bandwagon. You can go back a long time ago. I believe the name of the episode is Kyler is a Douche, one of the many characters that's been in the show and then disappeared and never talked about ever again, including Anthony LaRusso, who I don't know if he moved out, but there's no more younger brother on the show.
Remember he had a brother?
Oh, yeah.
He
loved pancakes, right? He was like the pancake eating
that
kid.
Was great.
There was like a son.
That by the way, of the kids,
son.
That's the one that
El Gordo. They just called him El Gordo. I said to Jose, I was like, you really need to like be careful. In Spain, it's like perfectly appropriate to talk about people's weight and stuff. And call them Gordo or Gorda. And I was like, you just gotta be like, this is an American podcast. You have to be careful. He's like, oh, like,
¿Hemos empezado ya?
Yeah, we started.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well.
I was going to say, like, talk slow so you understand.
So we're talking about Cobra Kai, and we have been, I'm just reminding people, you go way back when Cobra Kai was on the YouTube channel network, for which I think this family was the only people that subscribed. And even then, everyone was just subscribed through my account. So that's probably contributed to the show
demise.
But now it's on Netflix and everyone's excited, and that's great. I love hearing how excited people are about it. And that's what we're going to talk about. And we are going to bring two incredible guests. We love to start the new year off with the core family members, not just the siblings, but the people who keep this podcast going, who inspire us. Our first guest of our two, this is a powerhouse double whammy guest, is Alli with an I herself, my wife, Alli.
That's why I get to come, because I have the right name for this episode. That's why I get to come on the show.
And you are a mega Karate Kid fan. And when we met Billy Zabka, or William Zabka, we actually had him sign his autograph to you, Alli with an I, as well as Ralph Macchio. We have them both sign that to you. And
I want you to note that my partner, my husband, is not here because he didn't even make it through the second episode before he was like, all right, I'm done with the show.
Higher standards in us all.
And then we have, for his first full appearance, he's been on to like make fun of me in small amounts before. He is a 4th Dan Mugendo black belt, a 1st Dan black belt in karate, a 2nd Dan black belt in kickboxing. He is the Spanish full contact champion. Now, that is not the Spanish language. That is the country Spain. He is the full contact champion in martial arts. He is the World Cup CMAC light contact champion. I'm not really sure what that is. That's like light petting instead of heavy petting. And the owner of not one, but 3 Mugendo Tenerife schools where my sister and him live in the Canary Islands. He is also a surfer, is the term that is used. That's how you say surfing in Spanish. Ladies and gentlemen, Sensei, Jose Manuel Gomez Gonzalez, my hermano. It is great to have you.
Gonzalez sounds Mexican.
But it's Spanish.
Wait, that's your name.
Spanish.
That's his name, isn't it?
It's not Gomez Gonzalez. It's Gomez Gonzalez. But of course, you are not able to say that.
Gomez. I can believe me. I can make
Gomez
a list
Gonzalez.
if I need to. Gomez Gonzalez.
I'm all year around talking with your mom about this kind of difference, but all in your family say S instead of
Z,
Zeta, no?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because we learn Spanish here.
Because you are half
Western.
Cuban. Yeah,
because we're half Cuban. And we're so thrilled to have you here for your first time. And I think let's start our show off with a question for the Sensei himself, because one of the great things that Cobra Kai has done, it has shown us the perspective of Johnny. Now, I still believe Daniel is the good guy, but Johnny is a much more sympathetic character, as was intimated in the opening scenes of Karate Kid Part 2, when John Kreese smashed his trophy and tried to beat him up. So, Jose, in your lifetime as a martial artist, have you ever been the Daniel, and have you ever been the Johnny?
Well, yes, of course, both of them in different moments, and in a few moments. Yeah, absolutely. Let's say, let's not forget that you do when you do martial arts, and mostly when you fight in a championship or in a ring or whatever, you are fighting not only to gain points, but in some way you are going to hurt your opponent probably. And that is knowing that your opponent is going to recover from that for sure, because we are training for that. But in some sense, you have to get a little bit, say, hard, no, in your opponent. And of course, that phase of the journey came a few times.
So you swept the leg?
Tell the story.
Yeah.
Do you do an illegal move?
No, sweeping in that fight was legal, right?
Yeah.
No, it was illegal. No, that's why he said he'd be
Jose's
Jose's
fight.
In Jose's fight.
So I'm gonna tell the one story of where I could be Johnny. So that's in 2008. We were fighting as a team, and the Spanish team in what is probably the most the biggest semi-point fight and light point fight tournament in Europe, and probably one of the biggest in the world. So that happened in Ireland, and so the American team came invited to the championship. We are talking about over 2,500 competitors. It's a championship that lasts for 4 days, and
like the Sun Valley Open, but bigger.
Yeah, so much bigger.
And Irish.
So
All Valley. It's the All Valley.
Or whatever, All Valley.
So you train for this kind of championship for a long time, and actually you go in a circuit to get prepared for this kind of tournament. So
like on the martial arts circuit.
So you have to fight to get into it.
Right. Yeah, you're fighting in other competitions.
Yeah, so we were
walk in with Mr. Miyagi saying that you have lying and saying you have a black belt and
feeling a black
compete
belt
and win the whole thing.
Not really anymore. We tried, but no, it didn't. So we were as a representation of the countries of Spain and of course Mugendo, and we were 5 of the best fighters in that moment, representing the brand and everything. And so we arrived, and we were passing a few rounds, and in the semi-contact tournament, in my group, we were over 150 competitors, only in my weight, in my classification, which is a lot. So after 3 fights, I had to face one of the better fighters, point fighters ever, a member of the American team, where the famous Raymond Daniels was the leader. And this guy was known as the Iceman.
Iceman?
Jack
You fought a guy named Iceman?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's called Jack Felton. He's pretty popular still and famous.
Raymond Daniels is extremely
great fighter. My wishes from here that everything goes well, as I know. And so probably he doesn't remember me. Absolutely, he doesn't remember me. But
he will. Just to be clear, Jack Felton, it says on Black Belt Magazine, which is like an official magazine.
Exactly, he fought Costa in 2008.
No, but I don't know about that, but it says that he will go down as one of the greatest lightweight point fighters of all time.
Of all time. Him and if you look up Raymond Daniels also.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you fought Raymond Daniels, or you
fought
fought
he fought both of them.
I fought Jack Felton. Raymond Daniels is in another weight. He's bigger than me.
But didn't you fight?
No,
you fought.
But Jack Felton, yes. So we faced off in the 4th round of my classification, and after 1 minute of the fight, he was winning 7 points for him, 0 for me.
Wow.
So I'm sure, he is amazing. Wow. So I'm sure he doesn't remember me, but I'm sure he will remember that one guy he was losing 7-0, and because couldn't get any point because he is technically superior and much better than me. I thought to myself, this guy is going to pay something for this, and he's going to bring back a memory from this championship from a Spanish guy. And so
give him a jamón serrano. What did you do?
So in one of these, in the middle of the fight, my sensei told me, as John Kreese, will say,
just like Kreese,
to win somebody extraordinary, you have to make something extraordinary. And I say, okay, sensei, I'm going to do it. And he came to me with the leg up, like to hit me with the leg in the face. And I sweep back, like in the show. I sweep back, like the priest does in the third season.
Oh, and the third
exactly that.
When he knocks Johnny down.
Bobby knocks Johnny down.
Exactly that. So I did a sweep behind, and I hit him instead of in the heel. I hit him in the thigh?
In the thigh.
In the thigh. And oh my God, he was limping. He was limping for the rest of the championship. Still he won. But he was limping for, I'm sure, for 1 week.
So Jose is the Bobby in this story. Although Bobby could have won that championship. I feel like one of the biggest crimes in the first Karate Kid is that Bobby, who is the nicer of the bullies, has a chance to go to the end and go against Johnny for the end, and instead they have him sacrifice himself to injure Daniel. Right. Well, but it doesn't sound like Jose had much of a chance in this case.
No.
So did you get a point after
anyways?
Did you even get a point?
Not even, because I touched with my hands in the tatami, and you're not allowed to do that. So it wasn't a point, and I knew it was not gonna be a point.
But it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was
you didn't even get a point?
The second of glory, and
it was 1 second of glory.
Yeah. It really was. Okay.
But you didn't get a point, and you just hurt him.
In this case, you were the Daniel, the Johnny, or kind of more like the Bobby. We didn't put Bobby in here, but I guess
who was yelling, put him in a body bag? Who was on the sidelines yelling that to you?
Probably his sensei.
Rest in peace. That guy died.
I know.
They had him die in the show, and they put him in a body bag in season 2, which was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And awesome. Okay, so have you ever been the Daniel?
I have been Daniel. Yes, sure. So there was another championship around that moment where was my championship moment, where I was fighting all the time for a few years. And we went from Barcelona, where I used to live, to the south of Spain. South of Spain is known, the Andalusia part is known as, very party guys, party people, and joyful people, no? Very loud, no?
Loud.
Very loud people. So we were driving for 12 hours from Barcelona to the very south of Spain. And when we arrived there, we were invited for this championship. And looks like the promoter of the championship missed a few teams that they couldn't come at the last moment. So when we arrived there, we were like in total of, let's say, 100 competitors. And I was bringing a couple of my students, and also another of my instructor or partner of me. Also, he was bringing part of his students. And when we arrived there, we were supposed to fight in different categories, but the promoter of the championship decided in the last moment that the best idea we could do is to fight all together.
So you had to fight people in completely different
weight classes,
and stuff, which is really dangerous.
Yeah, weight classes, no weight.
It's like that episode of Kingdom when Nate goes to fight that random fight, and at the weigh-in the guy weighs more, and they cheat and they make him do it.
Right, exactly.
Like, well, exactly, and even promoters, and even more. Even we can come back to what's that movie of Van Damme in English?
Bloodsport.
Okay, when they fight in that ring, there is no weights, and you can fight everybody. So we arrived to that championship, and so the atmosphere was like it was a lot of people as a public, and it was very loud, everything. And of course, we were invited, and I brought two of my students. So at the beginning, I say, I'm not fighting because my students is going to be there, and I could fight them, and it's not fair. But at the end, they did the classification in order that we all will have 2 or 3 fights before we will match. We will face to all of someone that we might know. And in all these championships, there was one guy in the corner of the facility that he was enormous. He was 6 feet tall.
Over 6 feet tall.
He was like all muscle,
like Zeus in No Holds Barred. You know the movie with Hulk Hogan, Tiny Lister.
I don't know. It was huge. I remember that guy
get more obscure.
No,
being
people
very
know. People know No Holds Barred. I'm going to show Jose. It's probably had a different name in
Spanish. Yeah.
I'll show.
Okay, so this guy was in the corner of this facility, and he was dressed as Muay Thai fighter with short pants, surrounded by 20 guys, little guys, because he was huge, and the other guys were little in his side, and he was practicing his elbows and his knees, and he was really scary. So the tournament starts, and this guy fights one other guy his size, because at the first fights they tried to match with the same weights, and he knocked him up. Even if you were not allowed to do it, he beat him with his knees. Even he threw an elbow in his body, which you cannot do it.
He's playing dirty.
And, he advanced, and then the next guy, he advances also. And everybody's like yelling at this guy because he's so aggressive. So we are passing rounds, and I am half of this guy in size. So we arrived to semifinals. My students lost, and we arrived to the semifinal. And I matched this huge guy. It was ridiculous to see me at his size, because he was not only super tall, but all muscle. So we started the fight, and it was we were fighting. He threw me a punch, and he hit me in the head behind, a little bit behind. So I was with torticolis. How do you say torticolis?
Like whiplash.
Whiplash for 1 week. I couldn't move my head after the fight. But some way I found a way of winning that fight with a spinning roundhouse kick in the air, where I hit his head.
But not the crane kick.
Not the crane kick.
No, but also,
yeah, Shai. Just a measly little spinning roundhouse kick in the air. Sorry, so it wasn't the crane kick.
So it will be as you jump and you turn 180 degrees in your 360 degrees in yourself, and you kick with the leg that you have behind in the air at his head, and his helmet went out of the ring, and he went down in his knee. And in that moment, the championship was all quiet for 2 seconds. And then I thought, even either him or either his 20 friends, they were going to kill me after the fight, because that was not allowed to do that. And after the
stories
2 seconds,
are illegal moves.
No. But after these 2 seconds, the whole tournament was yelling to me, like cheering. Even they called me the flea.
They called him the atomic flea.
The atomic flea, because of that. And
he was so little.
You're so little.
And he was cheering him on during the fight. Atomic flea.
So it's like in Rocky. So it's like in Rocky 4 when he goes against, when he's a little tiny guy fighting against the Ivan Drago in Russia, and at first the Russians are all against him, and then at the end, all the Russians are chanting Rocky, Rocky.
Kind of. Like, besides that, I was half of Rocky, or maybe 1/4 of Rocky, and this guy was huge anyway. So I passed to the final. I won the final. I won the championship, and that was like my Daniel San day.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's a great story. Lily, you were at that one, right?
That's a great story.
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
no, I wasn't
you?
there.
No, we were together. I didn't go. I wasn't there.
Oh,
I
okay.
stayed back in Barcelona. At that point, in our relationship, he didn't want company. He needed to like concentrate, and I was not invited to go along to the fights.
Well, now we're getting into Cobra Kai season 3. Alli, bring us up to speed. I know you follow every detail of the show. That's not even true. Alli had to watch multiple recaps to have any idea what was happening.
You're going to put me in charge of the recap when I literally have to tell myself every day, okay, wait, Robbie is with Daniel and Miguel is with
Johnny's son.
I have to refresh my memory every time.
Neither of us, as we're watching it, can remember which guy Samantha was dating when the big fight happened.
Yeah, because she's making her way around like the entire.
She was dating
community.
Robbie and she kissed Miguel.
No, the other way
Miguel
around.
was her first boyfriend.
Miguel was first, I think.
Miguel was her first boyfriend.
No, she was dating Robbie. Miguel was dating Tori, and at the party they kiss. Tori sees it, and the next day in school f's her up.
Oh, okay, all right.
And that's what starts the fight.
Becky for the win.
And I didn't even like see the recap. I just literally know that.
That didn't make it into the recap. That level of detail. There was just a fight at school.
Yeah, well, what they showed in the recap was that they showed that in the recap because they showed each of them as the couples, and then they showed Miguel, and it doesn't matter. They showed it in the recap. You guys are all like a little bit just not paying attention.
Alli and I actually also accidentally started in the middle of the first season. We just like let Netflix pick up where it left off, and we were like, whoa, Anthony LaRusso's back. This is amazing. No, we haven't seen that kid in 2 years. I love Anthony.
And I definitely watched a recap like online, not the Netflix official one. So that's perhaps where that got lost in translation.
So,
okay,
Alli,
so that's why.
Let me start with you. Reactions just overall to where we are. And I want to zero into a specific thing. Is the show delivering on its promises for you in the first 4 episodes? We have only done episodes 1 to 4. We will complete the conversation at a later date.
Well, what do you think? What do you think the promise is? Depends on what you think.
Well, that's up to you. Is it delivering on its promise to you?
Yeah, Alli, what are the rules?
There are no rules.
I'm
there are
so
no
curious.
rules.
First rule of Alli watching television is there are no rules.
Throw out all the rules because they don't apply. I cannot be constrained in my TV watching joy.
So on the promises that have or haven't been made to you, how do you feel about the show? How do you feel?
Look, I feel like the first couple episodes meandered a bit. There was a lot of meandering. There was a lot of there was just a lot of nonsense, and even the whole plot line with Daniel and the dealership, I was like, do we care what happens to Daniel's dealership? But it got us
Mr. Miyake got
to
him his
Japan.
car.
So, but it felt like we were caring a lot about this business.
Who owns their own business? I feel like I'm worried for him. I'm like, you're not going to make it as a martial arts school owner. You got to keep that dealership.
I mean, his martial arts school is like
he was doing it for free.
in his backyard. It's
right.
Look, I think that
it was more like a vigilante gang than a martial arts.
A very like small, not particularly strong
kids.
Children. I'm very glad that the story took us to Japan so that we could link up with some old characters, but I'm very worried about Johnny. I was really getting worried about him around season 3, episode 3 or 4. He had not shaved. He was looking really weathered and beat down, and I was like, look, this is not the Johnny Lawrence from season 1 and 2, who I have become quite fond of.
Is full team Johnny now. Alli is now completely going to rewatch Karate Kid and be one of those people who roots for Johnny.
I'm going to be rooting for Johnny and be like, yeah, you shoved that radio right into him on the beach. You do that. He's kind of a punk.
Trying to steal your girl.
That's right. Nobody messes with you. So many like the
fact smoke a doob in the bathroom.
Do you know how long it took me to figure out that was a joint?
I thought they were chewing gum until I was in my 30s.
Years it took me.
I thought, I was like, what is he like fixing his braces? What's going on there? Because
I thought he was rolling something, but I was like, why are they smoking like hand-rolled cigarettes? What is wrong with these people?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was cigarettes. I literally thought he was chewing gum.
Well, because he kind of like gnaws off the end of it when he's twisting it. It's a little hard to tell what's happening when you're 12.
All right, over to Becky. Becky, what is your reaction to the first 3 3/4 episodes?
3 3/4 episodes. Actually, I have something really specific I want to talk about, which is my reaction immediately was that, and I do like this. There's things I don't like about it, but let's start with the things I do like, which is that I think the most significant change Netflix made to it, which I reacted to in a really positive way, was cutting in lots of flashbacks from the movies.
Yes.
Because I think what they're saying is, hey
Amazing.
guys, remember the movies? That's why you're watching this, because you
done in
love
season 1,
Daniel.
2?
They have a
Did it no
little
flash?
bit of it in season 1
Yeah,
and
they
2,
did.
but they have gone, like, clearly a Netflix note has been more flashbacks, more flashbacks, more flashbacks. I want a
Jose
flashback
said
every
that.
3
Jose
scenes.
said
I
that was his favorite part too.
If someone says Mr. Miyagi,
Yeah, and so
cut to the scene from the movie. Don't try to
right, exactly.
Just show
exactly.
it to us.
And so what I don't like about this season is that the story seems to have really gone away from the kid, like the two core kids, which to me are really Miguel and Robbie, right? And it's gotten like really dark and weird and sad, and it's moved away from that. No, but I'm saying it's moved away from that. But that was like the fun kind of high school show part of it, and you know, leaning into what the original storyline is, which is about like high school kids doing karate, right? And so they made that kind of like very dark and not fun. Like they sucked the fun out of that and pulled away from it. But by episodes 3 and 4, you're realizing they're just replacing it with more flashback from the original movies. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. If you're gonna cut these guys out, then it's okay. Then you know what? I have to tell you, I did not particularly like the first 2 episodes. It did not make me want to keep watching it. But then I thought the 3rd episode started off really strong and got back into it being a little bit more fun.
The 3rd episode is when Johnny goes to see Bobby, his old friend.
And it starts to get a little bit better.
That to me is one of the best moves in the show, is Bobby as a pastor.
Right. And so I think the, you know, the minus for me is that it's these fun teen characters, or these 2 boys whose stories you're following, that you're invested in, it's just not great right now. And it's not enjoyable. It's a little depressing. But the plus is that Netflix is using more flashbacks and leaning really hard into that, which is I really like. I think that was them knowing their audience and being like, who's really watching this show? They're like, are 16-year-olds really watching this? Probably not. It's 35 and up. So let's just go with that crowd and make them happy.
And I will say they're also, this is almost like a season 1 in a way. So they have to kind of reorient you, not to the previous 2 seasons of Cobra Kai, but reorient you to the movies. All right, Lily, how about you and Jose? What are you thinking of?
I think I'm enjoying it. Look, I was saying to you earlier today, Shai, Karate Kid was not a comedy. It had some campy, fun moments, but it was like pretty serious. And so that this is like more of a darker season, I'm not surprised or bothered by it. Do I want to see more? Do I want to see more of Johnny and Daniel teaming up? Yes. I'm really happy that the Sensei is back, because he's the ultimate villain, so that Johnny can be redeemed and like him and Daniel can actually team up in the end. If the storyline,
I don't know how they're going to make that happen.
No, because obviously he's being sucked back into the dojos, like Johnny's being sucked back in. But
I just mean that like Daniel and Johnny keep trying to get along, but it's just not going to happen. It's fetch is not a thing.
They don't have to be friends. But they're going to team up from time to time. I mean, people are paying to, no one's paying, it's Netflix, but people do want to see them team up and fight some bad guys, which they can't do that the whole time. Like, I think they are working us towards the scene where Johnny and Daniel have to fight Kreese together the same way at the end
sign up for that.
At the end of the Raid Redemption, when the 2 brothers have to fight Mad Dog. Like, to me, that's what we're driving towards. However, when we get to talking about future cameos, I have some ideas on how we can make it even more exciting. And
so you're having fun. Wait, you're having fun watching it, right?
Yeah, I'm having fun. Besides that, as a professional of martial arts,
it's a bit ridiculous.
The fight of them as team up
in the garage, and that sketchy mechanics.
It's pretty. They could have done better job there.
It was
And
the slowest old man fight ever on
Yeah.
Oh,
screen.
they looked
Yeah.
rough.
But
Oh my
They
god, I
looked
thought that was
rough.
hilarious, but it felt very realistic.
Also,
Yeah.
like that one huge guy is just waiting by the car, waiting for his turn.
No,
Yeah.
that's a convention of martial arts movies.
But
That's
Jose,
in every
your
martial art
beef is with that fight and not with the fact that these students, all both Johnny and Daniel's students, go from like not even white belts to like punching flying kicks through the air within
Well,
like 6 months. Like that's crazy.
That's a very good point, Ali, because they obviously most of them they are not a white belt because they do techniques, amazing techniques. But I want to center my main opinion as a professional also of teaching kids. What I love about the first seasons, it was that they even if they had to fight between them as the originals movies and everything, they look like they were able to provide some kind of martial arts values, the universal ones, of sacrifice, of being honest, of in some ways.
He's worried about the children.
But now in this third season, it's like they are a bunch of teenagers fighting each other all the time, being blamed by the school teacher.
I mean, how dumb are these school teachers? They're not even paying
Yeah.
attention to
They're
what's
not,
going
yeah.
on.
And it all became like a fight, like a fight camp where there is not,
Fight
you know,
camp, is that what you said?
sí, like un campo de batalla, no? Like they fight
A
for
battleground.
nothing, for there is any other value. I guess they are building up a good ending, but from now I'm a little bit disappointed of the martial art values that they were providing the first 2 seasons.
Okay, I think that's a fair critique. Me in general, I feel like it's delivering on its promise, but I think people get confused with the show. Started almost like not a parody, but like a little bit of a meta take on the Karate Kid, and then it got a lot of support and interest, so now they're a little bit burdened with making the story more serious. I feel like if you've seen Karate Kid Part 3, which I urge people to go back and watch, if you look at the quality of Karate Kid Part 3, which is below 1 and 2, and it has this sort of cheesy cartoon villain version of John Kreese in it because he returns for part of that. He even fakes his death in that one also, just like he did in Cobra Kai, the show. I think the show actually follows that vibe really, really well, but it's essentially a CW show. It's a Riverdale.
But I don't find the storyline to be that much fun anymore. Like the first season was fun. Now I don't know.
They have to get these kids out of prison and out of the hospital. I mean, they're
through karate.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the Netflix changes. I think like one of the most visible one is the removal of a few characters, namely, oh gosh, that actor that I love, whose
Aisha.
name is, no, Aisha, I want to talk about, but no, they brought in Keith from Kingdom for one season, but he's since been nominated for an Oscar.
Who?
Right? He played the like disgusting like older guy.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And they brought
He's great.
him, and he's an amazing actor, but it's a good.
He was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, for the movie he made it like as a whistleblower, isn't he?
For the movie about Richard Jewell. Paul Walter Hauser. But I feel like there wasn't really there wasn't really a place for that character because it was weird having like an old man around beating up kids and like instigating, because he was involved in that fight and they had to write him out with some dialogue. They're like, oh, he's on the run right now or something, or maybe not. Maybe that was whatever. Maybe he wasn't involved. Anyway,
no. They wrote him out with some dialogue, and they wrote out Aisha with some dialogue. And they were just pretending
it's a private school.
He doesn't exist.
And Aisha, there's stuff written about it. The actress Nicole Brown, she said online something to the effect of, you know, so the creators have left open the possibility of her coming back. They've said that they love her and they love the character. Certain characters they loved in season 1 didn't appear at all in season 2, like Kyler, Yasmin, and Louie. Never heard of them. Before the season, we told Nicole the same thing we told those actors. Just because a character doesn't appear for a period of time doesn't mean they've left the universe and they can't return again. We love that character and perhaps we'll see her again.
I'm sad that she's gone because we've still got like, what's his name? Dominic, the tall geek. What's his name?
Dimitri. Oh,
Dimitri. We get
worst.
Dimitri, but we lose Aisha. Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
It was like really fun and different to have her. Like, I love that. Like now it's just like a bunch of like blonde stick girls or whatever doing martial arts, and I like that there was like somebody with a different body type, because martial arts, I feel like a lot of
there's only one girl. Like, there's the two girls doing martial arts. There's Tori and Sam, but then otherwise it's just like a bunch.
Well, then there's the hippie cheerleader character,
boys. But she's not doing martial arts.
No, but she's there also because I guess Hawk, aka Eli Moskowitz, the one Jewish character who's also the villain. Eli Moskowitz is his love interest, so maybe they're trying to slim down the story a little bit because there's a lot going on, and they only have 8 or 10 episodes to tell the story.
I guess
so. Aisha's gone, lame. Paul Walter Hauser going, I think, is fine. He's too big of an actor to stay on the show. All right.
Yeah, that was a weird storyline.
Now, in episode 3 or 4, when he said he was going to Japan, the thing I wrote down on my page was Kumiko and Chosen. They cannot have him go to Japan. And
obviously.
Kumiko. Like, seeing Kumiko, I'd already heard rumors that he was going to see her. Okay. And by the way, she's a great actress and she looks amazing.
Beautiful.
The same actress?
Yeah, same actress.
Yeah, she was in The Good Doctor.
Oh, cool.
And she was so beautiful that it's like believable Daniel was still in love with her. And she was really sweet the way she was so emotional.
She's also from Okinawa, which I find very cool.
That was very cool. And when she scene where she read the letters, when she read and translated the letters from Mr. Miyagi to him, about him, was one of the most beautiful things, I think.
It could have been hokey and like cheesy, but I was like captivated. I thought
no, but that's the kind of moments that I refer. That the sweetness that always comes with the original movies. That's where you lose at the beginning of the season, and then the last episode, the 4th we are talking, is like it's a lot of comebacks. Flashbacks to the original movies more than the other episodes, and it looks like they are like coming back to the essence of the first season, no, or second season.
And it doesn't have to be a repeat, but the return was really good. But then the big moment for me was, I was telling Alli, I'm like, they better work Chosen back into the story, and the fact that episode 4 ends with him. So Beck, you missed this part. Kumiko and Daniel are having a drink together.
And Mom is the whole time. Mom's just like, they're hooking up. They're going to hook up. They're going to hook up.
They're not going to hook up.
They're not going to cheat on his wife.
But they touch
is the best.
They touch hands when they both go to get their drink.
Yeah, but they're old friends. They haven't seen each other in a long time. Like, yes,
he loves his
definitely
wife.
told him, she's like, I never dated anyone because you fought for my life. But then Chosen walks in the door and yells, Daniel's son. Now, I'm expecting them to like hug in the next scene, and then Chosen's going to be the guy that helps him with his business. I'm assuming that's where this is going. Like, that's,
yeah.
Well,
that will be great.
Can you recap us a little bit about his role in the second movie?
Yeah, I don't remember very well.
So bad.
Chosen is the nephew of Sato, who is
Mr. Miyagi's best friend
turned enemy because they had a falling out over the woman Yukie, who has passed away at this point in the story.
Kumiko's aunt.
Kumiko's aunt, I think.
Yeah.
And Chosen is in love with Kumiko, and Daniel shows up, and Kumiko becomes friends with him. And they don't have like a full-on romance. They have like, I love that it's like very innocent. They kiss, but like they kiss during the hurricane, and then
they do like a bunny hop situation. They're dressed up in like 50s gear and go dancing. It's very weird.
And Chosen is also like a thug. He's kind of a criminal. He's not just like his uncle is kind of like the local, not crime boss, but he's the rich guy who kind of runs the town. And
Chosen has no honor. That's part of his whole deal. He lacks honor.
And he cheats, right? Doesn't he get caught cheating in a game? And that's part of how he gets upset at Daniel. And
he cheats in the game, and he cheats the villagers. He's got the weights, and they're buying his Daniel breaks the weight, and it's like a fake weight, and whatever he was doing with the buying produce from the villagers, he was cheating them.
Right. So he has no honor, And then Sato and Miyagi are headed for this showdown, but then Miyagi saves Sato's life during the hurricane. The huge beam falls on him, and Sato thinks Miyagi's going to kill him, and then Miyagi breaks it with his hand, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And they pull it off, and they save him, and they make up, and they become friends, and they restore their honor. And they, at the end of the movie, is them holding this festival, this like lantern festival in the old, I think it's like the ruins of a.
Wait, but you forgot a major part. That's why they fight in that. No, because
no, I'm getting to it. Then Chosen comes.
No, but that's not why he comes back. It's because after Miyagi saves Sato, there's a girl out on the like top of the thing ringing the bell, and Sato says to Chosen, "You got to go get her. You got to go save her." And he's too scared; he won't do it. And Daniel goes out and saves her and rescues her. And Sato tells Chosen, "You're dead to me."
Oh, right.
That's why he comes back to fight.
Because he's totally dishonored. And then he comes and invades the party, and he like, that amazing entrance where he zip lines in and smashes the lights. And in that case, he's fighting Daniel. And that's why, like, I forget what the tagline is, but like in the first movie, he fought for honor. And this time he's fighting for his life. And then,
it's with the drums.
Yeah. And
I love those drums.
Daniel beats him with the drum punch. So I feel like we're in this, like, you're right. I think the first couple episodes do leave a little bit to be desired. There's a lot of schlepping around, but now with Chosen returning, like, I need to know what happens. Like, I cannot wait to watch what happens next. So they keep me hanging on. And of course, we're very likely to see Elizabeth Shue in this season. Right. It was teased at the end of last season. Oh my gosh, again, other than getting melted in The Boys, it's not like she's up to much.
Can I give my what I'd like to see either this season or next season?
Yeah, go for it. Perfect timing.
I don't know. Like, so we're so focused on these people of the past, right? From Daniel's, past, and whether it's Alli with an eye, or, all these different characters from when he goes to Japan. But we also keep going back to Mr. Miyagi, how Mr. Miyagi's had this impact on his life. We're forgetting, in the Karate Kid universe, Mr. Miyagi had an impact on another young prodigy's life.
You want to see Hilary Swank?
Hilary Swank? When is Hilary Swank going to come back? I 100% think she should come back as another former Miyagi student whose life was changed and path was changed because of him. And then she and Daniel have this special bond and connection because of it. And then she teams up with Daniel to help, beat the Cobra Kais or restore honor to his business or whatever it is.
Like, show is canceled, so she's available.
That's the only Karate Kid. That's the only Karate Kid I haven't seen. I've even seen the Will
Becky
Smith,
and I
Will Smith's
watched
son.
that one multiple times.
And
multiple times. The next Karate Kid is very underrated. Very underrated.
Well, maybe I should go back and check it out.
Can we watch it with the kids?
But she has won how many Oscars already? Two.
She won at least 2.
So you're gonna have.
What's she doing? She's won the Oscars, but what's she up to?
I mean, I really liked her show Away on Netflix, but it was canceled, sadly.
Lily, there's a lot of scratching happening.
There's a lot of scratching and moving. Like, the's a lot of noise.
So
I would like to see.
Stop touching that.
God, Lily, stop touching it.
You have. I would like to see.
That's also weird.
Oh, stop!
Oh my God, stop!
The microphone.
Stay still.
I would like to see Hilary Swank come back because she is part of this universe. She's part of this world.
I think that's great, but it's a stretch. I feel like they can barely afford Elizabeth Shue for an episode. They're gonna get Oscar winner Hilary Swank.
Maybe she can just zoom in for like a scene. Maybe she can just be like,
leave Daniel a phone message.
Yeah.
They'll get her. Wait for it.
Maybe they will. Maybe for season 4 they will. But I don't think she come into
couldn't
something
they always have her be played by somebody else, like that character?
No.
It's a very distinct face.
Not when it's someone that iconic. I don't think so.
I'm trying to think of who exists from the first movie, like what other characters we might be missing that are coming back. And the only person that's coming to mind is that is Alli's 2 best friends, the tall blonde one and the short brunette with the curly hair, who says, how do you think she got that right hook? Or, how do you think she hurt her hand doing her nails? Like, where's the nails, girl? We can bring her back.
Or the
running
girl
out of
Daniel
options
says that he had a runaway zit runner on his forehead.
Oh yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
ew, gross. He's poor.
That's the brunette.
Yeah. So for me, future cameos. So you guys don't know a lot. So the same way Becky is drawing on Karate Kid Part 4, which now I'm going to watch on Becky's recommendation. Karate Kid Part 3's villain is hilarious. It is this guy, Terry Silver, who is John Kreese's best friend from the Vietnam War, who is this bazillionaire toxic waste dump guy. Like his job is just dumping toxic waste. Not even part of the story, really. It's just like his job is making money dumping toxic waste.
Who played him? I remember this.
Oh, he's a dude with a ponytail, but he's
Oh
very...
no, it's
No,
are you sure it's not
I mean, you might know who he is. I've never
What's
seen
his name in the movie? Terry?
Terry Silver.
Silver.
Thomas Ian Griffith.
They've
Thomas
got to
Ian Griffith.
They've got to bring back Terry Silver, and they've got to bring back Mike Barnes. So the whole premise of season 3 is like, to go back to Jose's story of having like the big monster fighter guy, is that Mike Barnes is like the new bad boy fighting guy that Daniel
General
has to
Hospital
fight.
for a long time.
And so I just feel like, look, in the end of the day, yeah, Daniel and Johnny might fight John Kreese, but he is kind of an old man. But Terry Silver is like a trained killer, and Mike Barnes is like a real fighter. So like, it would be great to have them have real, bring in some more, like I said, cartoon villains. So I'm rooting for those like schlocky characters to return.
What did you guys think of the flashback on some background as to why Kreese is so messed up?
I think that's, I assume it's because the show does insist on its characters having some complexity, right? Like Daniel and Johnny are both complex. Like Daniel is the good guy, but he recognizes that he's done some dumb and bad things and he's got a bad temper. Johnny is the good guy sometimes, but he also is, not very capable. Like when Miguel falls out of his bed and he's like giving him a pep talk, and Miguel
when he can't figure out that he needs to plug in his computer.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of which they make him dumb is incredible.
I thought it was wireless. Oh my god, that's so bad.
So
it's pretty bad.
And then so I think they're probably going to give us a little bit of depth to John Kreese, but I do think if they give us this depth, this origin story to John Kreese,
well, maybe that's why they're doing that. And then he like signs up for the war. That's like their connection to bring in Terry Silver.
If they're doing the war flashbacks, that means we are this close to Terry Silver backstory. I'm just telling you guys. Like Terry Silver funds. He's the secret funder of Cobra Kai. That's the thing.
I have a question. Now that we're doing a whole episode on just 4 episodes of Cobra Kai, when are we doing an episode on Bridgerton? Because that is the other thing I've been watching
There
this
is
week.
literally not a tradesy in the world to get me to watch more than a few minutes that I've already seen of that show.
It's so
okay. Can
enjoyable.
I just when we're ready to talk about other things, I have
okay. Well, I mean,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut us off.
Who is you're gonna do your MVP, your LVP, and your MIP, and you know what? Let's just have some fun with it then, for Becky's sake. If you don't have one of those for Cobra Kai, just throw in one from Bridgerton. So if you're watching Cobra Kai and you want to watch something else, so like for example, none of mine are going to be from Bridgerton. I'll also note that our cousin Galit in Florida, who is awesome, her LVP is Daniel's wife. She's only gotten through the first few episodes of the first season and she can't stand her. Whereas I will say that his wife is
very supportive. Is
my MIP. I think her character was super stiff and awkward at the beginning, and she has continued to be a very, very improved character, particularly as the boss lady of the dealership. And so,
although she was very quick to sell the business, she's like, "Fine, Daniel, let's just."
She's been running that thing alone while Daniel's teaching kids for free in karate and starting school brawls.
Okay, wow, a lot's gonna happen in these last 10 minutes of episode 4.
Yeah, so she's my MIP. My most improved player. My MVP has got to be Bobby. I love Bobby as the pastor. I think it's a great bookend to his story. And I know he can't be in the show a lot, but I loved him. He's, they're on his redemption arc. And my LVP has got to be Robbie. Like, I don't really get what is happening with Robbie's story. It's not his fault, but like the juvenile detention story.
Well, it's his fault. He's a terrible actor. That's his fault.
Don't be mean. It's a kid.
He is a
Not
kid.
a terrible actor.
Mm.
I don't think he's terrible.
Oh, I think he's pretty bad.
As Mom says, he's very pretty.
He does look like a 90s
Yeah, he's
era,
got like a
like
Sean Ryder thing happening.
teen-
Ryder Strong.
Yeah.
teen crush thing. Like he's very like Leo DiCaprio
was
when
his
he was
name.
on.
It's like a Ryder Strong meets
sitcom.
Josh Hartnett kind of look.
I mean, I don't think it's his fault entirely. I think that's the.
No, I have no problem with him.
All right, Alli, what about you? Your MVP, your LVP, your MIP, and since you're watching Bridgerton, you can just drop a Karate Kid character and put in as someone in Bridgerton over.
I don't know. That's tough. I'm kind of with Galit on this. I think Daniel's wife is pretty like one dimension. Her character is pretty one dimensional. So I would have to, I think, agree. I feel like I don't know what category this falls in, but the new character who's making me laugh a lot is cousin Louis, who just showed up and like.
He is the worst. Why is he back on the show? He didn't show up. He was in the show. They fired him and they brought him back.
Cousin Louis, who just shows up and like delivers the piece of vital information, like business information that someone just willingly gave away to him for no reason.
Hand job at the same time.
So my MVP is Farouche.
No, it's Anush.
Anush. Oh yeah, Amelia Goob from Bajillion Properties.
Bajillion.
He's coming back.
The other guy calls him Farouche.
I love that he's back. I love that actor now because we watched $1 Properties. So that's
that's why I know him. Yeah.
All right. What about you?
And my most improved.
But did Alli say all of yours? No, Alli only did.
That's okay. That's
sorry, Alli. Sorry.
No. Take it, Jose.
Keep going. No, keep going. You were saying something very interesting.
I don't know about that. I don't know who my
probably is.
And Allie's MVP is always Johnny. She's like, Shy, why can't you be more like Johnny? Go punch a kid.
I mean, it's no surprise that I both love Johnny and I love that he's come around for me from like my 8-year-old self.
So he's your MVP and your MIP.
I don't know. I have mixed. It's very confusing.
He's all the P's.
Emotions.
He's all the P's for Alli. Alli doesn't play by the rules.
I did get a little nervous when I met him in person. I got very like.
He's I don't know if he's so good that he looks the same. Like he's gonna be the same as a person as he is in the show.
I think he's really just like that.
He's like really tough.
He was pretty similar in person.
Yeah.
He did want to talk about his kid, which I thought was very sweet.
It's my turn. My LVP is Dimitri.
Oh, he's the worst.
Just don't care about his character. My MIP is the hippie cheerleader girl, Hawk's ex-girlfriend, because I think they just keep making her character like.
Can we go back to Dimitri for a second? He's such an LVP because he's supposed to be one of the good guys, and I honestly root for Draco Malfoy and Crabbe and Goyle to beat him up all the time. I'm just like, it's just not Dimitri.
He's so annoying. He's so annoying. Yeah. My most improved is Hawk's ex-girlfriend, because I really think from season 1 to now, even though she's like very much a side character, they've developed her. They've like given her her own and my MVP is the Duke of Hastings. So
he's from Bridgerton. Okay. That's good. I like that. It was a little Cobra Kai Bridgerton mashup. I like that for the people.
It's a crossover
and he's a
episode.
boxer in Bridgerton, so he probably could take one of the guys from Cobra Kai.
All right, now I want to play a game. This is a bit created by my daughter, and it's a pretty funny bit. And what it does is I'm going to put out, there's 5 of us right here. I'm going to give us 5 characters from the show, but not like obvious ones, not like Danielle and Johnny in this case. And I'm going to name them, and you're going to have to line up each one of us with one of them. I don't think everybody's going to go because like who has the time, but so the way Who's Who works is, or there's different variations, but this way is there's the 5 of us, Lily, Jose, Alli, Becky, Shy. And then there are 5 characters. You have to match them up. John Kreese, Samantha LaRusso, Kumiko, Chosen, and Anush, aka Amir Yagub from Bajillion Properties. Who is who? Like for me, it's obvious. Jose is Amir Yagub from Bajillion Properties. I didn't even know that was his favorite character, but Jose wishes he could be a real estate agent on a martial arts TV show. Like that is the obvious one.
That would actually make sense, except he's a car salesman in this, not a real estate agent.
No, but he's a real
I
estate
see
agent
the
in the other
crossover.
show. It could, you know.
So who's who between
Yeah.
the six
So
of us and those characters?
Yeah. So Jose is definitely Anush. Allie's
Becky's
definitely
for sure the-
Samantha because she likes to fight.
No, but Becky's the Kreese because she's the meanest.
Well, Becky, I love young Chris, my favorite.
That's
I mean,
also-
I agree.
but
I
let's-
was gonna say I'm either Kreese or Chosen, so I'm like not gonna be mad at anyone there.
You're like John Kreese because you're a lot like Dad, and having met Martin Cove in person, he's just like a jovial Brooklyn grandpa.
No, but we're not talking about the actors. We're talking about the
I mean,
the
it's-
character.
Yeah, but it's how I mean, I didn't know our rules are so stiff.
Also,
So,
I feel like if anybody of this group could smoke a cigar, it's probably Becky.
oh, I can't.
No, it's Alli. Alli can for sure smoke a cigar. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's
I only
true.
get
has to
my
be the
cigars
Kreese
from
because
Jose.
she can smoke.
Maybe Allie's John Kreese, Becky's Samantha
Allie's-
because Becky wants to fight. But would feel bad after she fought.
No, Lily would be the Samantha because Lily's definitely the most intense and protective of her clan. So
So Lily would take over. So
Shy,
Jose
you're
got
clearly
sick, Lily.
Kamiko.
I'm the Kamiko because I love tea.
no, Shy's the Kamiko because he has a teeth done every day and he's very delicate and emotional.
Lily.
Although we know that there's no way Shai's reading somebody's letters. He definitely
No.
did that by accident.
He'd be like, did they make a movie?
But he
Is there a
would-
watch. Should I
But
get
he
one?
would save them. He would save the letters.
True.
He just wouldn't read them.
True.
He would save them. He'd
You know
keep
that
all
when I
the
was
memorabilia.
When I was telling Jose about this game, he just goes, "Well, obviously Josh is Anush." I was like, "What do you mean? Josh isn't even on the podcast today." He's like, "Whatever. He looks exactly like him."
Oh, that's
Shout
amazing.
out to Big Josh.
All right, let's close out our episode with some shout outs and recs. Becky, you're dying to talk about Bridgerton, so let's just.
Oh my god, I'm dying to talk about Bridgerton. I'm
Now, this
definitely
is the
recommending
show
Bridgerton.
about
Bridgerton.
the tunnel and the bridge and the tunnels. What is
Right.
it about?
So this is Shonda Rhimes does old timey English romance, aka Grey's Anatomy meets Pride and Prejudice. It's the type of show that when you're watching it alone, it's like romance and drama and like melodrama, and you totally love it. And then as soon as, for example, your husband comes and sits next to you and watches it with you, all of a sudden it shifts and it feels like a fake TV show that they watch on other TV shows. You know what I mean?
A lot of Netflix shows are like that.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if like in it always makes me think of in Insecure, every season there's a running theme of everybody watching a fake TV show. If you guys watch
Oh.
Insecure, and so Bridgerton sometimes reminds me of the fake shows that they watch on Insecure. But it's got romance, it's
Boxing.
got drama, it's got action, it's got costumes, period piece. It has everything.
So
And it has
basically Star
the
Wars.
Duke of Hastings.
It's got a lot of
who
sexy
I'm
time.
already a fan of.
Plays the Duke of Hastings.
But
Or
I
is
don't know,
he
I've
just-
never seen anything
or
before.
doesn't matter to you. It's just the Duke of Hastings.
I've actually never seen
is-
any of these
He's like
actors
Jamie
before.
from that other
Wait,
show. you
but with that recommendation comes an I Told You show to cousin Vanessa, who's the one that not just recommended it, but then like hounded me and Lil with texts for a few days, being like, you need to watch it, you need to watch it. And so I wasn't sure. I wasn't like totally planning on watching it. So she gets an I Told You show from me for giving me that super fun binge watch. So I watched that this week, and I've been dabbling with old eps of a favorite show of Shy's, Psych. So that's a really
I
fun,
am
easy one
so
to
convinced
put on
you
to like
did.
wind down at the end of the day.
As you continue to watch it, it makes me so happy because I have always thought that show is totally one that you would really dig. So it makes me.
It's just like a fun, easy one to take your,
Oh yeah,
just
totally.
take your mind off things at the end of the day, and I really am enjoying
But
it.
you're gonna
that's what
be
I've been
careful. You're
watching.
gonna start getting invested in some of the relationships in that show, and you're gonna get a little like emotional. That's all I'm saying. But Psych is
Ooh.
it is a uniquely happy show throughout. There's no
Mhm.
there's no Chuck.
It's a happy
ending.
show, exactly.
There's no Chuck ending on Skype where you're like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. And let's keep going. Alli, what have you been watching? I know Bridgerton because I'm pretty sure on New Year's Eve you elected to watch Bridgerton.
Well, my husband decided to take a gig, so I was hanging with.
Fair. That is fair. I was gigging is a good way to describe it.
You were gigging. I have been so enjoying Bridgerton. I finished it this morning. Shout out to Stein. Wow, both Big Josh and Stein get shout out because she and I watched, I think, 4 or 5 episodes over the course of a few days. We just like sent the children away to do whatever nonsense they were going to do so we could watch Bridgerton. And it was definitely a highlight of this holiday watching season. But I don't know, Shai, have you talked about our Christmas Eve family watch on the pod yet?
No, go for it.
I mean, I feel like if the one time I come on the show during the year, I don't talk about like a Hallmark Christmas movie, was I even here? I don't know. So on Christmas Eve, all of us snuggled up and watched The Princess Switched and Switched Again and Switched Again or something with Vanessa Hudgens. It was a Netflix.
The triple switch.
The triple switch.
Just keep them coming.
Is like Vanessa Hudgens playing
Hudgens in those movies as possible.
Every role in the movie, and I think it was like the perfect family.
Just Orphan Black scene.
Nothing else to do on Christmas Eve.
Tatiana Maslany, she is not, but you know.
But it made you so happy.
It makes me so happy. All right, Lily.
We started Lovecraft.
Whoa! Jose gets his own. You go.
Oh, he only watches what I watch. He's not allowed to watch his own TV.
Well, that's because he's sharing the TV with mom and dad also.
Yeah. What have you been watching, Jose? He watches surf videos and whatever I watch.
No, I only watch TV with you.
Yeah.
So
romantic.
I try to convince them of in Spanish show that is famous now.
That is true. I might get an I Told You show. He's been trying to convince me and mom, so we'll see what happens.
I didn't want to see it, so we are seeing whatever you want to see.
He got voted down. There's this new show it's on HBO España, which
every time Lily says HBO España, she doesn't say HBO España, she goes HBO España.
España. That's what I just purchased their streaming service. I guess in your HBO, not
HBO.
Your HBO, I don't know if you guys get the show called in Spanish 30
Monedas.
30 something?
30 pieces of like silver, 30 monies or whatever. I don't know if you guys have it.
They've got a show about 30 pieces of silver in
like
Spain. Was it made in the Inquisition? What's that about?
A Satan demon show or something. So he's trying to get me to watch that. But right now we're watching Lovecraft Country, which is called Territorio Lovecraft in Spanish. We're watching it in English with subtitles.
But I don't see Bridgetown as a
Bridgetown.
No lo veo.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
So
Lovecraft is very cool, though. Did you get to episode 4 yet? Did you get to?
No, we're gonna watch. No, we're on episode 3 still. We have to watch episode 3 tonight.
Fell asleep yesterday.
So we have to watch episode 3 tonight.
Oof, that show is
3 is the haunted house, right? So I think 3 is the haunted house.
3 or 4 is the haunted house. Is amazing.
Yeah.
That episode's so good. I think Lily and Jose kept playing with their microphone and they disappeared.
But I do have to go because I have to help my kids do lunch and nap, and I'm desperate for a pee.
That's fine. I will just say that no, I don't have anything to add except I have 2 things. One is Alli referenced the gig. I had the amazing opportunity to produce Landis Expanis' New Year's countdown extravaganza. It's on YouTube on Landis Expanis' YouTube channel, or you can see links to it in my social media. It was just a super fun, crazy, creative time. He is brilliant. I've gone deep into listening to his band, which is quite famous, called the Almighty Senators. Just fantastic artist and a wonderful guy. And it was a really fun and wacky and just the right mix of everything New Year's show. So that was a lot of fun. So I recommend folks check that out. And I want to, our kids are really big listeners to the show, and Friday Night Movie, people who are listening, Friday Night Movie is our life, right? Like this is, yes, it's a show, but this is how we interact with each other. I received a handwritten note this morning signed by both of my children saying that tonight they would like us to watch the Disney Plus movie Zombies because they want to give us the biggest I Told You show of all time. How can you say no to that when your kids come at you with your own bits? It's amazing. So I'll be watching the musical Zombies, which actually sounds like right up my alley. I mean, why wouldn't I love that? Becky, where can people follow you?
They can follow me at Paper BK Princess on Twitter, and you, if you're on the app Clubhouse, connect with me. My handle is at Becky Pamela. So
that's right. We are on Clubhouse. Becky, Lily, and I are all on Clubhouse. We'll do a whole Clubhouse shtick, I think, in our next episode because getting you guys on there was the best yesterday.
It was a joy.
All right, Lily, where can people follow you?
Chichi, CHICHIK Gomez on the Twitter and on Clubhouse. I'm Lily Corman, and that's about it.
And Jose?
I'm like Johnny Lawrence, so I'm gonna let Lily.
He doesn't. He has on Instagram. You can follow him, Sensei Jose Manuel. So JOSEM Manuel, whatever. You can figure that out. So Sensei Jose Manuel on Instagram. You can follow him. He doesn't know how to use it, but you can still follow him.
All right. And Alli, do you want people to follow you?
I don't have anything to sell or to offer, so I would just refer people to Jose to go follow Jose twice.
Follow Jose. All right. You can follow me at Pancake and the number 4 table, Pancake 4 table on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow all of the Friday Night Movie shenanigans at Fry Night Movie on Twitter and Instagram, or FridayNightMoviePod.com. Rate us, review us, subscribe, download us. Any of those things help the pod continue to keep going and grow. So that's awesome. In terms of how you can help make the world a better place, not help this podcast, first do what I'm about to say, which is check out the NAACP Legal Defense Fund and the Equal Justice Initiative, 2 incredibly important organizations doing really important things to sustain and repair our democracy, especially in the light of the fact that there is some more voting coming soon in our country in Georgia. Definitely go check out those organizations. The theme song will kick in is by What Does It Eat? Check them out on Spotify, iTunes, etc. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.